All right, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You have any minutes, Ellen?
Yes, we do have minutes. One set, I think.
Thank you. We have minutes of October 15th, 2024, and entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve October 15th of this year.
Thank you, sir. Do we
Second.
have a second? All right, we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Any more minutes, Helen? That's it. All right, great. How about any reports?
I have done.
Commissioners, any
I have
reports?
none.
I have none, Mr. Chair.
Correspondence, anybody?
None, Mr.
No,
Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Me neither, okay. Calendar review, Helen? What's coming up?
Tomorrow morning, solid waste safety meeting at 7:30.
Yep,
Thursday, survey review committee at 1:30. Friday, CSAA meeting at 8:30.
nothing on Monday, I guess, huh? Tuesday's a holiday,
Tuesday's a holiday.
okay. Commissioner Mullen, do you have anything to add to this week's calendar?
I have nothing to add, Mr. Chairman. No.
Thank you, Commissioner Hegarty.
I have nothing, Mr. Chair.
Nothing, wow, that's gonna be a light week. I have one thing to add as the Board of Directors, GLDC Board of Directors meeting tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Right, that's at the fairgrounds here, or?
Okay. sounds
Okay.
good.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner reports, Commissioner Mullen, do you have any reports to bring forth from last week? 2 weeks ago.
Last 2 weeks, I think, Mr. Chairman, but boy, I really haven't done very much. I haven't had many meetings. Last week on October 17th, we had a Jefferson County Mental Health Local Advisory Council meeting. Yeah, we did not have a presenter, although we think we're gonna have a presenter, I think, for the next meeting. 988 presentation, I think, maybe. And maybe JG research, did you say, Pam? In December, okay. Okay, Pam talked a little bit about the mobile crisis teams around the state. Evidently, there's 12 teams currently operating. There's one multi-county team that's got 10 counties in it. So the team that we're working on has 4 counties in it. Jefferson, Madison, Butte, Silver Bow, and Beaver, I guess, yeah. And or 5, I guess, yeah. And we continue to work forward on that, although we've seen hardly any information on what the grant they wrote is.
Ben Swain.
Yeah, it's been pretty light. What else did we talk about? Presenters. Pam brought us up to speed on the chip process and where we're at. Pam talked a little bit about QPR, and we're starting to include Narcan training with that. Talked a little bit about Madison County, and Madison County evidently had 4 cases in the last month of fentanyl poisoning. So we should feel pretty fortunate here in Jefferson County, because that's getting awful darn close to home. Although we've had it here too, I think, in the past, but. That's about what we covered, I think, at that meeting, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
In addition to that, last Monday, the 21st, we had our Many Rivers Whole Health Board meeting. Many Rivers Whole Health still continues to struggle with their financial position. Although they've set up banking arrangement with their bank, and they can borrow money as they need, operating line of credit, and they just kind of turn in what they have and build receipts, and they can go ahead and borrow money up against that amount, so they're operating pretty well. I think I told you last time, they had fired their accountant. I let him go, so now they're working with kind of part-time people, trying to put this whole thing together, so I'm glad it's not me.
Not yet.
Um, the state has reapplied for another CCBHC grant. It's a mental health grant. What they're applying for is a 4-year grant to do a Medicaid demonstration project. And everybody's pushing the state to get this done because it's what they need in order to get all at least my program up and running as far as CCBHC goes. No more discussion about consolidating with Western Montana. I don't know if that's just because they didn't have a discussion in the past month, but nothing came up about that. Talked about audits that they're doing, mold in buildings that we own. Buildings that we own are for sale. And interim people that we're hiring to try to keep our financial house in order. Those were pretty much what we talked about at the meeting, last Monday, Mr. Chairman.
Great.
And that's it.
That's
Those are my
it.
meetings.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hager, what have you been up for the last couple of weeks?
On the 15th, Tuesday, Jefferson County DUI Task Force, Montana Highway Patrol advised the group that in the last month, they had 2 DUIs, 2 open container, 1 minor possession, 1 criminal possession of drugs, and 1 marijuana possession, which had to do with impairment of impairment as for the operation of a motor vehicle. And then the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office didn't have a representative report their monthly report. Then the 2025 Super Bowl party will be held in Whitehall at one of the churches, whereas Boulder has yet to commit as to what they will be hosting. Then Wednesday, the 16th, LEPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, there was discussion about the public safety entities in regard to communications and use of and role of responsibilities while responding and once on scene. And Thursday, the 17th, Survey Review Committee, there was 1 plat of land reviewed and forwarded on for approval. Same day, library board meeting. The meeting was held in Boulder. The board approved their policy form, which is a request for reconsideration of library materials. In other words, if someone has a concern or disagreement, then they can present it to before the library and they can challenge it as such as to why it should be removed from the shelves. And then the Boulder Library needs to have the outside building painted in the upcoming year of April 2025. And could possibly the county maintenance crew be available to do this without having to put it out for bid. Then Monday, the Whitehall Town Hall meeting, there wasn't anything to report there. Basically, it was all within their town itself. And then the 24th, which was Thursday, the Survey Review Committee, there was 1 plat of land reviewed and forwarded on for approval. Then last night, Parks, Trails and Recreation Council reviewed the Rattlesnake Butte Trail Management along with Mike, whose last name I forgot. I apologize. Who was a visitor. Griffith. Thank you. Mike gave input about the near future upcoming project, which the council took under consideration. Then Vaya Errett introduced her rough draft travel management letter to the council for review prior to it being sent to Ranger L. Watson and Dillon. There were numerous conversations about this issue, and after discussion, it was agreed upon by the council to have Vaya redo parts of the letter and bring it back to next month's meeting for review. And then once it meets the council's expectations, then the letter will be forwarded on to the county commissioners for their signature, then forwarded onward to L. Watson and his Forest Service supervisor. Oh, Mr. Chair, is that enough?
Sounds great, thank you. That's the BBRD travel management plan.
That is right here, Parks, Trails, Recreation. They're wanting to draft a letter here on behalf of the Parks, Trails,
But
Recreation.
for the BBRD travel management plan.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
that we're working on travel management in general, yes.
Okay, perfect. Are they discussing getting that back up and running again?
Well, it's put on level 1, but I don't know what that's gonna mean at this point until we see it, but we're just trying to get it pushed up there.
Trying to spur it along?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You talked about the library. We had a little interaction with the library ourselves. I got a complaint that they can never call and get anybody at the library, that the librarians were having
I got that complaint too.
to give out their cell phones or whatever, so I dug into it and, our IT department figured out that it's our system, but the city was responsible for it, so somehow their IT people had control of the number and it was going through some other system, so it was kind of a big mess. So,
The city has IT people?
Yeah, they have contract IT people, so every time they get a complaint, the contract IT people get a call, they fix it. You know, the city gets a bill, so we figured out that the county can take it over, cause we have all voice over internet phones anyway, it doesn't cost us anything, it'd be under our purview, it'd be under our, it actually, under our extensions within our networking of the county, and everybody was okay with it, so Shane did his magic, got it hooked up to the counties, and I guess they haven't had any problems with it since, so I think we got that fixed.
They're answering the phone.
Yeah, maybe that's a good thing, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
They have the ability.
So that was good. All right, what have I been up to? Fire council meeting a couple Tuesday nights ago, firefighter one, class plans are starting to take shape. They're gonna probably do them between February and April of next year, as always, kind of in the middle of the winter. Let's see. Forest Service announced, this is the Helena Forest Service, possibly no burning for the rest of the fall due to budget cuts and personnel levels. DNRC is changing some of their leadership around, so they're probably gonna have new faces there pretty quick. They're short-staffed and due to seasonal layoffs as well, our fire season kind of got extended way past what it usually does, because typically we have moisture by now, so. Let's see. Anything else worth mentioning? Doug's putting in for the rural fire capacity grant again. That really only affects us. We gotta afford the money. We buy all the stuff, about $20,000 worth, and then once we get it in, then I think it's the state reimburses us, so we just kinda, or the banker there, we loan them $20,000 and we get repaid soon after that, so. All right, what else we got going on? I did a quick TV interview with Jonathan Ambarian. I don't know if anybody saw that on the Helena News, but I was on the camera. They were talking about the new marijuana tax, wondering about that, why we waited so long to jump in on that boat, and kind of gave them an explanation. It really wasn't worth our time for the one dispensary we had open, but now that we have two open, it's gonna be probably enough for our time to get this pushed through. We'll see what the voters come up with. Tippet board meeting a couple Thursdays ago, kind of the same as always. We've got that North Tippet gonna sunset. And we should have a balance there to be able to pay off our debt to zero, and then also give the RMD a little bit of a bump to get some of their projects going, so that one will be sunsetted. And we got some bids from, well, actually, we got a report from Great West about some of the water issues we have up there. We have a well that never got water rights that we're looking into. I don't know if you get any farther on that yet, Sam, but nothing yet.
That one's for the south.
So it sounded like we drilled the well, but since we didn't use it for years, we, I guess, just hooked up to it and started using it without actually filling out the water rights. So we gotta figure out what we gotta do for water rights on that.
Where's this at?
The South Tiffin District down at the Sunlight Business Park. And then also our wastewater discharge permit needs updated every so often. Just gotta do the paperwork, I believe, for that. And we
Yep,
haven't,
in the process.
and it's due like right away. soon.
It expires in February.
In February. It takes a few months to get to that point, but we're on that too. Thank you, LaDana, for getting that figured out, or we'd probably be late on all this. We'd probably be getting a call from the state. So that was the TIPID meeting. What else was I up to? I ran up to Blue Sky Heights just for a few minutes to talk to the gentlemen up there that are having a speeding problem, try to get my eyes around what's going on up there, and I think it's the same problem we have at about every subdivision and every road that leads out from any subdivision. It's just, people are just going too fast. That one's especially bad because it's like a slope coming out of that subdivision that if you don't hit your brakes, you're going 40, 50 miles an hour without even blinking. So had a good conversation with those folks. We had a quick executive, JLDC executive session meeting on Friday, just to kind of go over some of the results of the dinner, I guess. Is that what we did? I'm trying to think, and just
Yeah,
Kinda get
plan
prep.
for this next.
prep for the meeting that's tomorrow. And let's see, Clancy Water Sewer District meeting last Wednesday afternoon. Markswell Mark's test well was complete, tested about 100 gallons per minute. That's not the final test. They gotta put a bigger pump down there and watch the adjoining or the neighboring wells, make sure we're not affecting them, and they're gonna see how much water they can get pumped out of that.
That would be adequate, though.
Well, if they have 2 or 3 that are that much, it should be good, yeah. And I think they've got 2 now, so. But we
Two
gotta
on
be,
Mark's.
what's that?
They have it on Mark's land, 2 wells on.
Yeah,
Mark's
right
land.
behind the legal tender. There's a legal tender and there's legal tenders well, and just past that in that big flat spot in the middle there is the Marks. It's down below Red Cliff Estates there, so. So Red Cliff is watching it really close, and those neighbors right there are watching it really close, and we've been trying to be real good neighbors and say, that's what the test well's for. If we're gonna draw down and it affects your well, then it won't be a feasible well, because we don't wanna affect any of the water around it, so. So that's actually going really well. If these test wells go good, we may have water. Then I think the next step is gonna be water rights. This is gonna be the next big hurdle they're gonna have to get over. And I think that was it for that meeting. Road and bridge this morning, most of that, yeah, taken up by Corbin Road. We're just kind of in the process of trying to figure out what to do with that, see what it's gonna, if we can fix it or what we're doing there. They've been busy, cleaning culverts. Grading, a lot of grading. This time of year is tough to grade. You grade it and by the next day it's already washboard up again because it's so dry. Anything else worth, oh, they're thinking about closing part of Whitetail Road up here by the airport for some filming for the 1928 film series or whatever that is. They've been doing some shots on county roads in Jefferson County here, but they're looking at that part by the airport up there to shut down for a day or so to do some filming up there. We're just trying to figure out the logistics for that. And a little bit of work up on McCarty Creek, just moving along with fencing and culverts and stuff up there from a grant that the Elkhorn Working Group got up there. So that's going along very well. And what else did we do? Oh, we talked to IT this morning. They're doing a great job. Lots going on in their department. You wouldn't think so because they're right on the ball when you need something. But they're doing a lot of upgrades and a lot of updates and actually getting stuff for free now that we've been paying for years and years for. So Shane's doing an extraordinary job, and Levi's doing a good job as well. They're doing really good. Got lots of upcoming plans and things to get us even better in the future here. So. Doing well. And I think that was about it for the last 2 weeks for me. And I made us late for our one time specific agenda item, boundary line adjustment, amend Dowd minor lot 2A and 2B. Is that you
Yep,
or
that's
Ladana?
me.
Okay,
Yeah, so we have a boundary line adjustment for like 2A and 2B. Dan and Craig would like to require the 10.87 acres that was previously gifted to Lyden Cross, which is their daughter. So it'll just go back to there at 10, and then Craig and Diana will have the 31.99 acres.
pretty simple, just taking some land out of one lot and putting it in another essentially, within the subdivision.
Yeah.
And they're still within the zoning requirements. Is that 10 acres, did you say? 10 acre minimum, and they're just over 10 on the one lot?
Yeah, they still meet all requirements.
Any questions on this one, gentlemen?
I don't think I do,
No,
no.
sir.
Pretty straightforward. Simple boundary line adjustment. If you look at the map, it doesn't look very simple. It's kind of a,
Tetris.
what's that? Yeah, it is like a Tetris or,
Kind of confusing. When you look at it with the house and when you look at the access, it makes a little more sense too. But yeah, the
Sure.
map can be kind of confusing.
okay. Very good. Anybody want to make a motion on this decision here?
I move to accept the boundary line adjustment by the amend of Dowd minor lots 2A and 2B.
Very good. I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any other discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. Very good. Thank you, Lindsay. All right, well, pop back up to public comment. I'm sure Liza has a lot to tell us today. She's the only public, well, Barb just walked in too. I guess she's public as well.
I don't really have anything.
You have nothing?
Senate's in
Nothing?
recess, so we're,
Nothing's happening?
yeah, not much.
Okay.
Not until the 12th when we'll re-enter session and then lots of stuff will happen.
How's your new job? Are you good?
There's an election in a week though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm official, so I don't do any of that stuff. Sorry,
No, I was just saying, getting used to your new lifestyle, traveling around and representing.
it's crazy. Keeps me busy, that's for sure. And volleyball season's made it a lot more, a lot of travel. We were going to Great Falls for work and then to Columbus for volleyball and all the way back, so but seeing a lot of the state, and that's always good.
I'm sure you're getting asked by everybody, but the SRS, does that seem to have any life left in it? Are they working on that?
You'll have to remind me what that
The
stands.
secure rural schools payment that we usually get every year and we didn't get last year?
I'm not super familiar with that policy.
Okay.
I think it's Grace in our office that handles the education policy, and she'd probably know a lot more
Okay.
than me. But I am happy to look into it.
Yeah, look into it. I think it would be a good thing for you to follow just because it's an important part for the county.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've got it for many, many, many years.
and you didn't receive it last, is that?
This is the first year we haven't received it.
In a lot of years, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's over $100,000 for our road department. I don't know how much goes to the schools, but a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
40% of it, I think, yeah.
Well, I'll certainly
Yeah, look into
educate
it. I'm
myself
sure,
on it, and
I'm sure it's a talking point up on the Capitol, but
I'm sure, yeah.
it's just nice to know what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll look into it and I'll get back, and I know I can't remember if it's next month I'm supposed to meet with the Parks and Rec to hopefully talk about the Continental Divide Trail, which I have not heard any updates on, so hopefully there will be one by next month, but yeah, again, there's not much happening in DC right now
Are they
that
running on a,
happens.
they're operating on a continued resolution right now, aren't they? Until they get
Yes.
a budget hammered out or,
I think it was December, I believe.
okay,
And so in the new year, they'll be talking about the budget again, and hopefully we can get actual appropriations and packages passed, not a CR.
good deal.
Yeah. It's the goal.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody else got anything for us as the public? No? Okay, moving on. Resolution 2724, cancel outstanding warrants.
Not
We got
too
a few
many of
those.
them.
You got any with my name on?
No. Oh.
Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, I'm assuming that's Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation for $300. You'd wonder they couldn't find a place to put that money, but. So whereas 7/6/2607 MCA requires the board to cause to be canceled all county warrants that have remained uncalled for 1 year or more in the county clerk's office, whereas the Board of County Commissioners has received a list for uncalled for warrants from the county clerk and recorder. Now therefore be it resolved that the following warrants be canceled. Just quite a few names with minimal amount of money. Montana Web, $65. Jefferson Fresh Foods, $100. And Rocky Mountain Elk for $300, so. That's it. Anybody want to move to cancel these checks?
We only do this about once a year, don't we?
Once a year, once every other year, it's pretty, not very
Not
often.
very frequent.
I think Terry does a lot of work to get these paid out and she just comes to the end or,
Yeah, just so people know, we do try to contact these people and try to get in touch with them and let them know there's money here, and they still don't come to get their warrants, so. We don't feel too guilty about taking our money back.
right,
I move that we approve resolution 27/2024 canceling outstanding warrants, Mr. Chairman.
thank you, Commissioner. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
All right, any other discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Hi,
Aye, all right, very good. Little bit more money back in the coffers, huh? All right, last but not least, JLEC Cottage 5, Brownsfield, and Kansas State University Technical Assistance to Brownfields. Lindsay or Ladena? Oh, no, that's Sam. Sam's here. That's right, JLDC.
Leah couldn't make it, so she provided this packet for everyone about a community relations plan on cottage number 5, so there's a new possibility to get another $200,000 for cleanup and abatement of cottage number 5. So we had to present as part of the process with DEQ and Brownsville this packet that we have provided on what can be done and what we would like to do, the different options. On page 6, you see that there's option 1 and option 2. We believe that option 2 would be the best. And then if you go down to environmental review, there's 4 different alternatives of what we could do. Got to do a feasibility study, a community profile. It's basically like an environmental assessment like we had to do for the CDBG grant. But part of it is that we had to bring it to the commission and do a public meeting before tomorrow.
Right on time.
Yeah, here is the community relations plan.
Yeah, I think this mention of this program was just had to be in this meeting for a public opportunity to comment on this project for the money that they're going after, I believe. It's just a one checkbox that we had a public meeting
Correct.
to bring forth this to the,
Yeah, the public had to be able to view the alternatives and have any information for that EPA grant.
so that's really all this is about. I don't think we have to do anything. We don't have to have any,
I need a signature from you that we did it.
okay.
And then.
Yeah, we actually held the meeting.
Yes, and then a copy of the sign-in sheet, and that's all that we have to really do, I believe, to check the box on it.
Okay. So I'll open it up to public comment. I'm sure Pam has a lot to say. Maybe Barb even. You guys have anything to bring forth to us?
Well, on the public health end, this building is something that, we're hopeful that can come, to fruition. Not just for us as public health, because we wouldn't occupy the whole building, but to bring in other healthcare entities into our community. As Commissioner Mullen mentioned, our community health improvement plan was just finished, and two priority areas identified there were mental health and behavioral health. And the second was access to health care and quality care. So those both run in that line of bringing, access to people to have those health services that they need, which is what our vision is for this building, is to be able to do that. There's been a lot of time and money and thought invested to the building so far. New roof, feasibility study, architectural plan, lots and lots of work from Leah and JLDC to look for funding to make this feasible. So it's really a hopeful thing that we would be able to do this. I know that public health has some money that's been designated to that building. And building expansion has been something that's been on our radar for a long time. For the full 4 years I've been in this seat, and for years prior to that, I know Noel Mathis about 11 years ago was looking at building expansion. So ways that we can improve our outreach to the community, such as more opportunities for education and support groups, things like that, that would fall under public health's umbrella as far as prevention and recovery. So those are things that we would really like to see happen.
Leah called me the other day and said the first phase of the mitigation was the basement under there, getting that sealed up, all the floor sealed up, and the bid came back way over what they had anticipated. So this is actually coming at a perfect time. This will get us into another pot of money to be able to hopefully get that done at least, and then look at the windows and some of the other projects in there. Is that right? Did
The
you tell?
windows are a big part of this. one,
Okay.
too.
Cause I know whatever they used to use to seal the floors, they changed something else, and it turns out that it's a lot more technical, and it's gonna cost more money. And so this is Brownsfield's money anyway.
Most of the people putting in the bids, it's a brand new process. They're not sure really where to go, so they're going high.
Yeah, they're bidding high, so they don't lose their
Mhm.
behinds on a bunch of labor they don't know, so, yeah, that's a little odd too.
How much did you say it was for? Sorry.
200,000 is the extra part on this one.
All right, any other discussion on this one?
I did what Pam said.
Ditto? All right, thank you. That saves us a
Well-
little time. Barb, thank
Yeah,
you.
right,
I got
thought
one
it
for
was
Samantha.
65.
You got a
That-
question?
I'm trying to figure this out. So you're trying to allocate for more money, right? Is that what, but open
the
it to the
ground
public,
floor,
right?
correct.
Mhm.
When does the feasibility come up? I mean, was that supposed to be in November, this upcoming? Of where we're at and what things are going on? Or is this to catch up with where we're at right now for this money? You, or,
Do you want me to answer that?
Hopefully.
yeah, will you?
So the deadline we're looking at for November is the Montana Historical Society grant or historical grant
Yeah,
anyway.
that's something.
That was gonna get us a little closer to the,
Right.
to the end zone, right?
Right.
This year is just extra money that's gonna get some more of the asbestos mitigation done within the building. So this actually will probably take off the bottom line as well a little bit. If we can get this grant, it'll, and whether we do the health department stuff in there or not, this will get done. And the building will be a little closer to something else if the health department can't be done in there. This will be done regardless, because that's what the money is for, is asbestos mitigation. So great money. It's going to a good cause. If we decide to tear the building down, it would benefit us as well. It wouldn't cost as much to tear it down.
And this is what federally funded?
I believe so. I think
Brown-
Brownsfield
ADA grant.
is federally, you know,
Thank you.
so it's a good opportunity.
Thanks.
So, yeah, we eagerly await the historic money.
Okay.
And then, once we get that, then we'll kind of have to sit back and figure out if we want to move forward, or if we can afford to move forward and try to get this thing hammered out, or if it's gonna be too big of a bite for the county.
Yeah, I think we should make that decision up front myself, you know, whether or not the county should move forward. And if we're not gonna move forward, then quit spending money on this building that we're not ever gonna complete, you know?
Well, the asbestos mitigation needs to be done regardless whether we use it and occupy it, or we tear it down, it's gotta be done.
That needs to be done, but
Yeah.
talking about windows and some other
Right.
things, you know, that I really think we need to slow down.
Yeah. All right, anybody else have any comment? Hearing none, I guess we will be adjourned. I don't think we needed to make a,
I don't think it needs a motion, I just
nothing.
need
It
you
was
to
just it was
sign.
just a meeting to
Okay.
bring that out. Okay, very good. We are adjourned then. Thank you all.